Welcome everyone back to beautiful Bursa. It is of course time for our Europa League semi-final second leg as we welcome Atalanta here to beautiful Bursa. Now, the previous leg was rather disappointing, not only in terms of our performance, but of course the highlights. We only got about one highlight during the entire game. So, hopefully this one is a little more entertaining, both from our players and from the game overall. But before we crack on with that one, we do of course have a game against Antalyaspor to catch up on. So without further ado, let's hop into Football Manager 21 and crack on with today's episode. As the Turkish league is coming towards the end, we welcomed Antalyaspor, Andre Wilson and his friends over to beautiful Bursa, and well, they went and scored the opening goal. Lucky for us though, we got a penalty. Carranza smashed one back, and then we went and doubled up. Mailman on the left hand side whipping it across, Carranza pulling it back for Aaron to drill in the bottom right hand corner. We then got a free kick on the 95th minute, sealed with a Carranza header. He gets his brace, we get the result, and it's a lovely performance. Now, a little disappointing that it took us 70 minutes before we got a goal, especially looking at the match statistics, but we will take a 3-1 victory in the end. At this stage, it's a case of points. We don't care how we get them, as long as we get the points, we don't care. But in terms of match statistics, well, we had 15 shot to their 10, 7 on target to their 4, 1.77 XG to a 0.69, 6 corners to their 5, 16 fouls to their 14, 3 yellow cards, 2 yellow cards, 92% passing. We love to see that, to their 87. A little disappointing on the possession though. We had 56 to their 44. Few yellow cards in there, which is a little bit disappointing as well. The Mailman getting one, Lassen getting one, and Ozcan also getting one as well. But, like I said, lovely penalty from Carranza. Goulier getting one on the 75th and Carranza sealing it on the 90 plus 6. Beautiful free kick, by the way, from Halit for that final goal. And Halit got a 7.3 coming on as a substitute. As you can see, we started off with basically our second team with a few names thrown in there towards the end. So, in goal, we had Zubzuk. He had a 7.2. He tends to play every single game because he's Zubzuk. Why would we not have him in the team if he's fit to play? In terms of the back line, well, we had Mailman, Kubalay, Gordinho and Musin. Mailman did a solid performance, 6.7. Could have done a little more, but can't be too disappointed with that. Kubalay on a 7.3 had a great effort. Gordinho with a 6.7, he did okay. Musin, a little disappointing on that 6.5. In terms of central midfield, well, Shirok had a great game on a 7.3. Volkan, again, needs to do more with a 6.5. In attacking midfield on the left-hand side, Youssef had a solid 6.7. Ainol with a solid 6.9. Sinan, solid 7 as well, with Mad doing okay with a 6.7. In terms of substitute players, well, we went over Halit. He got a 7.3 coming off the bench and delivering that beautiful free kick to Carranza, who sealed the game. Aaron, though, he got a goal and a 7.3, and of course Carranza, with that brace off the bench, got himself an 8.4, the standout performer of this game. And then a couple of more disappointing ones. Lassen with a 6.6 and Mehmet Ozcan on a 6.7. But that rounds up our game against Antalyaspor. It is, of course, time to talk to the one and only Mr. Jason Dodds in the tactical meeting screen before we prepare for our game against Atalanta. Yes, the name did just escape my brain, so I'll see you over there in just a second. Okay, so as you can see, we're not quite in Jason Dodds land. We are, in fact, looking at the previous results to have a little bit of a better idea going into this second leg, how things fare for the final. So first of all, Arsenal, they got a 2-0 victory over Köln over in Germany. They come into this one with a lovely lead, looking to hold on to that. Köln, of course, needing at least 2 goals here away at Arsenal. I think Arsenal's pretty safe, lead through to the final, and are going to be scary for whoever gets through between us and Atalanta. Speaking of which, Atalanta come into this one with that 1-goal lead. Rather boring game over in Italy, I would say, and well, they managed to squeeze a 1-0 victory from that. So we're hoping to come back. Unfortunately though, we do need to win 1-0 if we're going to take it into extra time. We need really 2 goals. 2 goals would take us through. If they score though, we do need 3, unfortunately, from this game. So yeah, we need to be on the front foot. We can't be sitting back. We can't be trying to play for a 1-0 victory or any of that. We have to push forward, try and get 2 goals, maybe a third, just as safety in case they score. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here today. Hopefully we get a few more highlights. Even if we go out, at least we want it to be a little more entertaining than the first leg was. But enough rambling, let's go talk to Mr. Jason Dodds in Jason Dodds Land. And he's suggesting we drop back to a balanced mentality. He's completely contradicting what I've just said about us having to be on the front foot. We are not doing that. We are sticking with the positive mentality. In terms of the opposition instructions, well, there is quite a few different ones. We are going to trust Mr. Jason Dodds. If you're interested, of course, pause it, but I am not. So I'm just going to agree with him, not tell him to do that, and he's going to go tell the players to do that as well. In terms of today's game, well, I gave Atalanta a little bit of stick for not selling out their stadium, and then we've done the same. So, feel a little harsh. Very good pitch condition here today, but unfortunately we've only sold 32,508 tickets out of a 42,985 capacity stadium. In terms of the weather, well, it's a breezy 10 degrees. Yes, breezy. As you can see, it's breezy 10 degrees Celsius, breezy. So, definitely breezy in today's game. Let's head on over to the team selection. And in terms of the team selection, well, Musin has a little bit of a knock. So we are going to bring in Umit for Musin. Ahmet is a little bit disappointing, so I'm actually going to replace him with Gordinho. Anal is going to move up to that spot because I'm actually going to bring on Sinan in case Thiago's having a rough game. Thiago is a youngster. Sometimes he's on fire. Sometimes he's a little bit off the ball. So, Sinan Kert's coming in. He can cover that. We've got Milinkovic. He can go on either wing, so it doesn't particularly matter. Anal can go on either wing, and they can go on there. The only problem now is we can't change all 3 of these, because, of course, one of them has to remain on the pitch. So, everything is covered. Every position can be substituted if need be. And, well, our team for today's game. Well, we've got Zubzuk in goal, the backline of Blackett, Kuble, Miranda and Lassen. Central midfield will be controlled by Mehmet and Emrihan. In front of them in central attacking midfield will be Thiago sitting behind Carranza. On the left-hand side, we have Eren Gürkan on the right. And without further ado, let's head on to the submission screen and see how people like those tactics. First of all, we have Emrihan. He's happy to be back in the team. That's nice to see. All these are positive. Unfortunately, we have 4 players who don't like the formation. That's Gürkan, Atabek, Milinkovic and Sinan Kert. Luckily, 3 of those are on the bench. In terms of people not liking the particular mentality, we have 3 of them. Umit, Shurok and Gordinho, again, all on the bench, so doesn't matter too much. All of these are fine. Gürkan Demir, though, he doesn't like the tactical instructions. Well, he can go argue that with Mr. Jason Dodds, because that wasn't our doing. We just simply told our assistant, yeah, we agree with you. Go tell the players. So, these are the teams for today's game. I think he was their goal scorer, so I guess that's a good sign that their goal scorer is on the substitutes bench rather than starting. Hopefully, he doesn't score any more, though. So, first of all, the media have given you a lot of praise lately. Put on a worthy display. And before we do that, we have a new individual because he is from the Italian Football Gazette. That is Stefano Aimee. Not Amy as A-M-Y, not Amy as in A-I-M-E-E, not Amy as in... Yes, I'm not going to go over every variation of that ridiculous name, but Amy as in A-I-M-I, last name. Both teams come into this one in good form. How do you rate your chances ahead of kickoff? Well, they're a very good team, and we're going to relish the challenge of keeping our good form going whilst putting a dent in their aspiration. Well, Alessio Cragno has been almost unbeatable in goal for Atalanta recently. How do you solve the problem of getting past him? Kick the ball where he can't save it is my strategy. I think we can unsettle him and make him uncomfortable. Every goalkeeper, even the great ones, has weakness. Yeah, we're going to have to try and expose his weakness. Not sure what his weakness is. I haven't looked at his attributes or anything, but we know it, don't we? We're psychic. We can read him. We can read him. They are going for a 5-2-1-2. Lovely recent form with a win, a draw, a win, a win, a win, a win, and hopefully a loss now. Please, please, can we beat them? Because they have quite a few wins on the bounce. Unbeaten in all their recent games. One of them is only a draw. Zorti, though, will throw it in. Zorti on this left-hand side pulls it back for Rudiger. Yeah, I completely butchered that. Just ignore me. Kwame one-on-one with Zubzok hits the post and Blackett will get it away. Playing over the left-hand side where Aaron will bomb it and then the highlight is over. Come on, game. We need highlights. Even if it's bad highlights, we at least want some highlights. We want an entertaining game of football here today. Thiago pulls it back for Lassen. Emrehan now to Lassen. Lassen, can he get anything going on this right-hand side? Tries to whip one across for Aaron. Unfortunately, it's nodded away. Mehmet will collect this, though. He's coming down the left-hand side. Pulls it back for Blackett. Blackett plays it back for Mehmet. Blackett is still over on this left-hand side. It's played over to Emrehan, though. We're going the wrong way. Kublai on the halfway line. Gets it over to Blackett finally. Aaron on this left-hand side. Will he pull it back for Blackett or go alone? He goes alone. He should have pulled it back for Blackett. He had acres of space. Zorti now has it on this right-hand side for Atalanta. Gomez gets it to Ravella. Ravella, nice ball over the top to Kwame. Kwame is being hunted down. Tries to chip it over the goalkeeper. Zubzuk punches it down. Blackett back to Kublai. Miranda. And away. That was an interesting opportunity. I think that's the first attempted chipped goal that I've seen on this game, to be honest. Not many players for me have attempted to chip the ball, if any, and I don't think anyone's really tried chipping it over my keeper in any of my other games. So, yeah, Gerkan on the counter-attack now on this right-hand side. Can he whip one across? This is a lovely opportunity. Pulls it back to Lassen. Lassen's got acres of space. Pulls it to Emrehan now. Go on, play it back to Lassen. Lassen, okay. Swaps it to the left-hand side instead. Blackett got plenty of space. Whips in across. Oh, Emrehan, edge of the box. That was disgusting, Emrehan. That was absolutely beautiful. Let's enjoy that one once more. So, as you can see, Blackett, plenty of space. Gets away from Zorti. Whips one over. Emrehan on the volley. Outside. Smashes it into the goal. And what a beautiful goal that was. Whew. 21 minutes in. We have a game. That's nice to see. Kwame, though, is going to try and pull them one back. Please don't let him score. Thank you. Of course, if Kwame does manage to find the net here today, we will need at least 3 goals. My apologies. That tickled my throat a little bit. I got a little too much air. Zubzuk will play it out, though. Emrehan now short to Thiago. We've got Mehmet making a run, but Thiago's going to go alone. Tries through ball to Carranza. It's nowhere near him, though, and he just gives it away to Bremer. Bremer, oh, lovely tackle by Carranza. Gerkan, can he get anything going? No, he's going to play it straight at Cragno. No, that was straight at Cragno. And, as you can see, Lassen has taken a bit of a knock. Fortunately, he can continue in today's game. We don't have to bring on the youngster quite yet, but that is a worrying sign going forward in the rest of the game. In terms of the game, though, the match statistics are as follows. We've had 4 shots to their 6, 2 on target to their 3, 0.31 XG to their 0.51, 4 corners to 3, 5 fouls to 2, 0 yellow cards, 87% passing. Unfortunately, they have gone a little bit better than us with a 92. 52% possession to 48, but the one and only goal was that beautiful effort from Emrehan, and we can be happy going into this half. So, yeah, put on a weather display. That has gone down nicely. We are going to keep an eye on Larson. The team is doing well. I might even give them a bit of encouragement. No, you know what? Their motivation looks quite good. So, while their mentality is looking nice, we're going to leave it. Ravella, though, is going to play it up for Gomez. Gomez back to Ravella. Ravella now getting it over to Zorti. Zorti's made a lovely run on this right-hand side. Pulls it back for Ravella. Ravella plays it up to Kwame, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And we now need 2 goals as Christian Kwame has made it 1-1 here today. So, let's push up. It's the only option we have. Omit. Come on for Lassen. Lassen's taking a knock. He can't really play. So, we need to go probably Gerkan up, Emrehan up. Are either you having a bad game? Tiago's having a bad game. Gerkan's having a bad game. Carranza's not having the greatest of games. Alright, so Tiago, you're having a rough one. We'll bring on Sinan to replace you. Gerkan's having a rough one. Okay, we'll bring on Anal. Anal can come over there. We'll have Anal, Carranza, and Aaron. In terms of what they are actually going to do up there, that is a good question. So you can play pretty much everything. So we might move you to a poacher. You can be an advanced forward. We want a bit of everything. So poacher is what you're going to do. In fact, no. Don't be a poacher. Be a pressing forward. On support? Yeah, support. Why not? Supportive pressing forward. These two are already attacking, so you can go supportive. That is our triple substitution. And we are going to try and get these 2 goals. I should have probably pushed us up to being attacking, to be honest. But we don't want to see that again. That is a rather disappointing sight to see. We're going to tell him to man-mark Kwame, which is probably going to leave a bit of a gap over on that right-hand side. But we need to try and get something going. Let's go attacking. Let's first of all try and get a second goal and even things up on aggregate, even though technically we'll go out on a away goal with that. We're going to give the lads a bit of encouragement, a bit of everything. We need 2 goals now to try and bring this tie back. This, to be fair, isn't too disappointing. We lost 1-0 in the first, it's 1-1 in the second, but we don't want to go out on a away goal. We don't want to go out at all, quite frankly. Zorti, though, will get past Blackett, pulls it back for Gomez, who will crack it off the crossbar. Yeah. Ignore me, I'm speaking more rubbish than usual, quite frankly. But it's unfortunately 1-1 in the end. We pushed on, but we couldn't do quite enough. That goal from Kwame seals Atalanta's fate of getting into the Europa League final. The good news, it does mean our fixture list is marginally less congested, but it still is rather congested. We have some big games coming up, and we even have a cup tie where our pretty much entire defence is going to be missing. Yes, I will show you that in just a second, but before we do that, match statistics. Well, we've had 7 shots to their 12, 4 on target to their 7, 0.61 XG to 1.21, 5 corners to 9, 11 fouls to 12, 1 yellow card to 1 yellow card, 85% passing to 91, 48% possession to 52. I think we can be quite proud of that, to be honest. We lost 1-0, we drew 1-1 at home. We wasn't out the tie. We gave it a good effort. Unfortunately, we just didn't manage to overcome Atalanta in these 2 legs. In terms of the team, there was a few players who had some bad performances. Carranza getting a 6.5, Sinan on a 6.4, Aaron on a 6.6, Blackett on a 6.6, Google on a 6.6, Lassen on a 6.5, Thiago on a 6.5, Demir on a 6.5. Yeah, it was rather hit and miss. All those players, absolutely useless, but Anal was okay on a 6.8. We then had Umit, he was decent on a 6.7. We can't complain with Subzuk on a 6.7, really. And we had solid performances out of Mehmet and Emrahan, both on 7s, and Miranda with a 7.3. Unfortunately, though, just not good enough, quite frankly. So, let's go head into the dressing room. You were underdogs, you gave it. Good effort, lads. Good effort. We can't be too disheartened by that one. So, what are your thoughts about the aggregate defeats? Well, I'm pleased with the performance over the 2 legs and felt we deserved more. I'm delighted with our performance, even if we didn't get the result exactly. It was a good effort. We tried. We unfortunately failed, but we tried. And to be fair, Colne, in a very similar situation. They went away to Arsenal. They managed to get a 0-0 draw. Unfortunately, they couldn't do anything at home. They put up a good effort in their game and went out, as did we, against Atalanta, who we unfortunately lost to 1-2. So, it's an Arsenal-Atalanta final in the Europa League. And, well, Arsenal might be trying to win this one after missing out last year to Leicester. I think Arsenal probably is going to win this one. Now, twisted knee for 6 to 7 days for Lassen. That is a worrying sign. But we did receive 2.19 million. So that's a nice bit of cash. Speaking of a nice bit of cash, look at our financial state. We have had one heck of a year. Not just on the pitch, but our bank balance has shot through the roof. 17 million in profit. That's got us a 26.9 bank balance. That is actually over the transfer revenue for that. So we will be dropping to the 40% if we end up playing next year. Because, of course, we are currently top of the league. Speaking of which, we have a 4-point gap. They have 3 games remaining. We have 4. And we, of course, can build on that. So we can extend that to a 7-point game. That will mean that they do need to win all of their remaining games. So I need to check if they are playing at the same time. I guess we don't have a game in between. I think we come back for Denizlispor. We're coming back for one of these. I need to work things out. In fact, you know what? I'll work it out right now. So they win all 3. They can get 9 points. They can get up to 83. We win. We still be only on 81 against Denizli. So it doesn't matter if we beat Denizlispor because we can't technically win the league by beating Denizlispor. So I guess we're back for this one because we could end up winning the league by the time we play this game. So we'll come back, we'll play that game, we'll then play the next episode depending if we win the league here. If it comes down to this Fenerbahce game, I guess we'll come back for the Fenerbahce game. If the Fenerbahce game is redundant, we'll skip over the Fenerbahce game and come back for the other Fenerbahce game in the Cup. Yes, this is where it gets rather confusing. So we're coming back for Erzurumspor in the next episode. The following episode will be against Fenerbahce, but that depends whether it's a league game or whether it's a cup game on how the next episode goes. And then we'll, of course, be rounding out the season against Besiktas at home as we normally do in these episodes. In terms of that cup game, though, like I was saying, we're missing basically our entire defense. So if we go over to it and click down here, as you'll see, Bursa, we currently have 3 players suspended for the game. That's Kubele, Lassen, and Blackett. So left back, right back, centre back. We have 1 centre back in Miranda. We're probably going to play him alongside Godinho, and then Musin probably on one side and Milman on the other. So our backup wingers aren't too bad, to be fair. If we're going to miss defenders, I guess our left and right back are probably the areas where it's not so bad. But it's a bit rough, missing 3 of your starting defenders for a cup final. But enough rambling from me. I hope you enjoyed this episode, even though it was a little disheartening. We've come out of the Europa League, but we put in a good performance, a good run of games, as you can see from the recent fixtures. But I thank you all for watching today's episode. I hope you all have a lovely night, and goodbye.